Hey, we're here reviewing the install and use of a PLCM7700 Pyle View backup camera. It's got a 7-inch window, 420 resolution, and the distance scale line feature, which allows you to see how far you have to go before you're going to hit something when you back up. Here we have the monitor itself with various menu options and such for external power source, power supply, power button, different videos. Here we have the power cable for that with an auxiliary video RCA in. We have the camera itself, very small, mounts to the bumper or other spot with the RCA and power supply hookups. This is the RCA tether line, which will go from the camera, from the back of the car or vehicle all the way to the front to the monitor. Here we have a dash mount with a tilt feature so that you can lay it flat out of the way. Also undoes with this knob pretty easily. Here we have a windscreen suction cup mount for mounting on the windshield if you want to be able to pop it off and stick it inside your glove box or something like that. Remote control, because everything's got to have one these days, and the power supply hookup cord for the camera itself. Alright, so here we are at the front of the vehicle. You can install this connecting it to your car stereo, which you should probably do if you're planning on using the auxiliary video for like your kid's video game system, iPod, any other video source. The white cable, V2, is your video 2 source, and the yellow cable, V1, is our primary video, which is going to be connected to the camera. Because I don't really have any other video sources I'm going to be using, I'm just going to hook it up straight to the battery, and I'm going to hook it up through the firewall. There are lots of grommets already going through the firewall in most vehicles. If not, you can drill a hole and put a rubber grommet in there. Make sure to use that, otherwise the sharp metal can cut the insulation on your wiring and mess things up. So the black is of course is your ground, which can be grounded to the car or the battery, and the red of course is the positive. Inside the little fuse box here, you've got a fuse that's easily replaceable in case something happens, like somebody does something silly with the car, jump starting it. Alright, I found an unoccupied grommet here, so I'm going to take the power supply that goes into the monitor. I'm going to fish it through the grommet. Leave this in a safe place for now. Go over. Here we have the cable coming through the grommet. You're going to want to wire it up under your dash. Use zip ties, something so that it doesn't interfere with, obviously, the brake or gas pedals. And I'm going to fish it up through here for now so that I can have it mounted right on my dash. Alright, these leads come pre-stripped from the factory. Let's just twist off the little insulation, wire them onto your battery. Obviously, negative to negative, positive to positive. Once again, continue to keep your cables out of anything important. Exhaust pipes, anything hot. Alright, so because this is my work truck and I don't really care about it, I'm just going to screw it right to the dash because this is where I want it. Vertically. It does have an adhesive on the back, which is probably better for a cleaner normal vehicle. You could mount it up here or something like that. I don't want it in front of that. I want it here. So I'm going to take a couple screws I had sitting around and mount through the holes real quick. Alright, so now we're going to attach the monitor to the mount. I loosened this little backer plate right here. It can fall off if you loosen it all the way, and then you got to find the piece, whatever. So just make sure to loosen it most of the way. There's a slot on the back that this metal bracket goes into, so you just loosen it, put it down, and slide it right into the receiving slot. Tighten the knob, then tighten the other knob that adjusts the angle. Get it about where you want it. I'm going to assume that's a pretty good viewing angle. We'll find out when we start using it. Check for power. Have power. Of course, we haven't hooked up the camera yet, so there's no signal, which it tells me. So now we'll move on to the next step. Alright, so now we're going to attach the camera. This is a waterproof night vision camera, so obviously you can mount it exterior. For myself, I'm going to put it right here next to my license plate because I tend to bump into things with my bumper. It'll be nice and protected there. I'm going to use 2 screws, same as before, and then we're going to have to hook up the power to the camera, which is just a simple sort of DC adapter. And this is about 4 feet of line, so this is meant to go to your backup lights so that the camera is only powered when you are backing up. So set that down, and of course the other cable we have to worry about is our video RCA feed once again, which will connect to the monitor, and that will be the last step that we'll have to do. Alright, so we've attached the camera now. You can see it's found pretty good. I've used self-tapping screws that I bought. You know, it takes 6 to do the whole job. Cost pennies a piece. You can adjust this as need once we hook up the power. It comes with a 17-foot RCA video cable. That will be the next one. We connect this between the camera and the monitor. Alright, so we've done the last step, which is to hook up the yellow RCA cable to the video one, from the power cord that goes into the monitor to the back on the camera. And as you can see, the monitor is working just fine. Here's Val, and I don't know if you can see it on the camera here, but there's a red, orange, and then 2 green lines. With those, that shows you if the red and the orange are, you know, danger and stop, because you're gonna hit something there. So the green lines show that way you can back up really, like Val's probably like 2 feet away, so, and her foot is about 1.5 feet away. So that helps you back up. There's a little button here that reverses from left to right. So, and upside down for some reason, in case you need that, in case you're in a rollover situation. And of course you have your basic options, language, master system reset, brightness, contrast, color saturation, tint, and format mode of what it looks like. And it's pretty bright. I can see this just fine in the daylight. Didn't really have to mess with anything. Of course you have your video input, which is also a separate button for if you want to use it to watch television or something like that. So that's our install for the PLCM7700 Pyle View backup monitor. I have a pretty bare bones van, and I did this in about half an hour. I think that's probably the best possible situation. Most people in a van, I would say probably 45 minutes to an hour, tucking all the wires, everything like that. In a car, tucking it under the carpets and under the panels, things like that. The basic stuff that you have to do with any kind of car stereo or car electronics, depending on how much you need to route it, could take you anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and a half. Remember, the only thing that you might possibly need is screws, fasteners of some sort. I think self-tapping galvanized screws are probably the best thing. You get the ones with the neoprene washers even. That'll work for a plastic or a metal bumper or dashboard. If for some reason you have a van that is longer than 25 feet, you can always get a simple RCA extension cord from any electronics store, Home Depot, Radio Shack, anything like that. I didn't need it. This is a regular full-size van. So thanks for watching.